Last week, we only had Jalen Hurts as the elite quarterback on the slate. I came onto this show. I said, if we can beat him, we can win the money. Tua, Kyler Murray, those teams outperform the Jalen Hurts team. And it's just cost too much money for us last week. This week, we've got Josh Allen. He's the only stud quarterback on the main slate. Do you have the stones to fade him? On the smallest slate of the season, 6 teams on a bye this week, 10 games on the main slate. Let's go ahead and break it down.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Goodness gracious. Hit the wrong button already. Here we go. Gonna work through my mic issues, I guess. Anyways, if you're in here, how did your week 8 go? Let me know in the chat. Looks like we've got still no sound. Here we go. We're good now. Damn microphones anyways. We got some action here. I want to run through this before I get super started. Just recognize here, Showdown Captain. We're going to talk a little bit about single game entry or single games tonight because I've had a little bit of success over the past couple single games. And, you know, it depends on really what the tournament or the game that you're playing. If you're playing cash games or whatnot, I'm still playing tournaments. And I'm still trying to play to where I'm not the only, you know, I'm the only one at the top and not duplicated. That's a big thing here with single games. And yes, I would say in any DFS, you can be profitable if you've got the right process. And of course, bankroll management is so important. And sometimes it's so hard. Like if you're losing a lot, you want to chase more. If you're winning a lot, you want to play more. So it's really hard. You just always have to stay disciplined. What's up, my friend? We have a couple of teeth coming in with our baby. So I don't think you remembered being 6 months old, Chris, but maybe you do, man. Let's go. Hey, thanks for being in here. Wow, Riff Legend. Let's go. I don't like, yes, I do like the single entries on main slate. That's actually all I play is single entry tournaments on the main slate. For single games, I play a 3 max, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And anytime you can get free money, man, you got to take it. Man, you guys are flying in here. I will not talk about our DraftKings. James came on last week to join the show. It was a great time. I loved it. We built a Derek Carr, Devontae Adams stack, and well, quite frankly, that was wrong. That was wrong. We won't go over that. But I do want to hear about how you did. How did you do in week 8? Let me know in the comments if you won. If you won, let me know. Just put a W if you won. I don't care. Did you win last week? Did you win a little money? Before we get too far in here, of course, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you will. Right? We're on our road to 100 subscribers. Started the stream off tonight with 66. So if you've subscribed tonight, let us know in the chat. Let's see how many subscribers we get this week. So close to 100. You know, we're halfway through the football season, really just halfway through the regular season. DFS, we're going all the way to the Super Bowl. I can't wait. Playoff DFS. I got to start thinking about and put my schedule around. I got the whole week of Thanksgiving off. Guys, that's only a couple weeks away. One of my favorite slates of the year, Thanksgiving Day slate. 3 games. So I got to think about what I'm going to do there. Hopefully, maybe I'll go live like Wednesday night of Thanksgiving. Look at doing something there. Just walk through the Thanksgiving Day slate. And then, of course, come back again on Friday night. Let's hope my wife will allow me to do 2 live shows in 1 week. Hit that subscribe button, though, if you will. Tonight, we're going to review week 8. I had a great week. I gotta talk to you guys a little bit about it. I made a couple mistakes, though, and I just want to walk through that. And, of course, we'll go position by position for week 9. We'll talk about some stacks. And at the end, as always, let's build some lineups together. That's the most fun part about the whole thing, building some lineups together. I want to rock Deion Jackson so bad since he tweeted last night before the announcement, man. I do too. I want to talk a little bit about Deion Jackson. 5K on Fanduel. He's just so cheap. It's so hard because I'm going to play a lot of tournaments, right? And so if he's going to be that owned, but hell, Tony Pollard was, you'll see later, 83%, I think he was owned in the tournament that I cashed in last week. And so I usually try to stay away from a little bit of that chalk, but the running back chalk has been hitting so much this year that I might have to go Deion Jackson and maybe just get weird elsewhere. He just saves so much money. Will you have more entries or servings of turkey? Dude, I eat like Thanksgiving all day, every day. Well, around Thanksgiving. Like Wednesday night, you get a little turkey in you. Eat all day Thursday. Then you got Friday, some turkey sandwiches, man. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. We're past Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love the Thanksgiving Day slate. So we'll definitely have something around that. Well, let's get into week 8. Let's do a little bit of review here. Let me pull some of this stuff up, man. It was awesome. But it was a sweat, dude. It was bad. I made such a bad error. And I got to talk through it with you all right now. I'm going to pull up. Nope. I want to pull that up here. So this is the team. Last week, you can see here, I just pulled it up. I'll pull it up with first place, actually, to start with here. All right. So I'll pull it up here with first place. I go Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore, the old double stack. I talked about it last week on my show. I really wanted to get those guys and double stack them. I just thought this game was going to really blow up, and it wasn't bad. 26-34, you're putting up 60 points. You're going to like that. I bring back Justin Jefferson and Irv Smith Jr., which you're going to like. And then this is where I played 83% Tony Pollard. And then the Deontay Foreman news came out on Friday. I remember being on the show, and I couldn't remember if it was Chuba or Deontay. One of the two guys were out, so I wanted to see what that projection came through. I don't mind that being under 25% in a small field. Remember, there's only 112 contestants in this tournament, single entry. So I loved it. My noon went off. I was tilting because, you know, Fox brings on the Carolina-Atlanta game. When I really wanted to see Kyler Murray, he was driving, trying to make one last push. It doesn't end up going for anything really that last drive, but I wanted to be watching that. So I was tilting, just not being able to watch it, trying to follow along. Unfortunately, Kyler didn't get another touchdown. I was really hoping for that fourth one. But I was feeling really good about where I was at, right? And this is where I make the mistake. I don't have enough salary here to get to CMC. So my last two guys are Jonathan Taylor and the Houston Texans defense. These are the only two 4 p.m., 3 p.m. games, wherever you're at, that I had left. I was $100 short to get up to Christian McCaffrey. I think I started with $8,400 Kenneth Walker here. So I couldn't get up to $8,500 Christian McCaffrey. All right, whatever. I've Kenneth Walker and the Washington Commanders. I was sitting at about 14th place at that time. So I'm feeling really good. And these guys were both pretty chalky. I wanted to find a way to get up. You know, how do I get into top 5, right? That's where all the money's at. Look at the money of the top 5s. $1,000, $700, $400, $250. So I'm trying to get up here. How do I get up here in the top 5? I had to get off the chalk a little bit. So I thought, here's my 3 options. I could stick with the Walker Commanders stack. I could move from Kenneth Walker down to JT, but I wasn't going to play the Commanders against JT, so I was going to go to Houston if I did that. Or I could move all the way down to Brandon Ayuk because he didn't have Deebo Samuel last week, so he was projecting pretty well. And then I could have paid up to defense to Tennessee. Ayuk was really, really chalky. I ended up going Jonathan Taylor, who had a ceiling similar to Kenneth Walker, but way less ownership projected. So that's why I went Walker. That's why I went JT. Unfortunately, Kenneth Walker, he ends up as maybe that's why I had 11th pulled up, man. He ended up at the same. That's McCaffrey. He was great. Slick Mo had the same thing I had. I know one of these guys got Kenneth Walker up here because he ended up at 12.5% owned. The same thing Jonathan Taylor was. So that hurt quite a bit. The Commanders defense, I think, put up 7. They put up 18.7 points together at just 37% total ownership. Whereas you can see here, Jonathan Taylor and the Houston Texans put up 13.6 at just 28% ownership. So I lose 5 points and I didn't gain anything for ownership, honestly. But then look at this Brandon Ayuk right here, 10.7%. He was projecting way more than that. He was projecting more than both these running backs, which is why I didn't go after him. You flip over the cards and you see Brandon Ayuk at 10% owned. I would have loved that. He goes for 17.1. The Tennessee defense goes for 9 points. Check this out. The Tennessee defense, I'll find him one. They're, what was it, 106th? Did my research this today. Look at this. 2.7%. Throws up a 9 spot. 17.1 26.1 combined at just 13.4%. Honestly, though, I did the math. I would have ended up probably $150 winning. I would end up about 120, 183, 184. I would have been in this range right here. I may have gotten to 150 points, but it's not that big a deal. But really what was tilting is that I was just falling. I sat at 170 points for so long. I was just falling and I just knew I was going to lose this thing. And I cashed out by 0.26. This dude's got, who do you have running late? The Seattle defense? He must have the Seattle defense running late. Luckily, I held them off and I got the min cash. So we're back in it. I took that momentum right into the Sunday night. We talked a little bit about everybody talking about how they like the single game slate. So I want to talk about, I took my momentum right into the single game slate. This is the 100-person contest that I play. Every single game slate, I play 3 max entry. I play 3 lineups in a 100-person league. It pays out only the top 12, but I've found a lot of success within this. I am in the positive on single game only. If I only played single game, I would probably be up a couple $100. Unfortunately, I keep playing that main slate because that's what's fun, right? And so I'm not that overall, but on the single games, I am. I go Steph Diggs, Josh Allen. Look at this, Steph Diggs, 13% versus Josh Allen, 76% MVP. All hats off to this guy. I gave him a shout out on Twitter, man. This dude plays Samore Torre. I don't even know how to say that. But I had to give him a little bit of fun on Twitter because who plays this guy, right? Who plays Samore Torre? At just one catch. Look at this. He catches one catch for 37 yards and a touchdown. I didn't even know. I've never heard of this guy. So anyways, hats off to Jess, 33.85. He takes me down. He takes it down. I'll settle for my second place finish. I can't be mad about that. Can't be mad about that. Take that into Monday night. Guys, I'm telling you, I was just rolling this week. Rolling with the single game slates. Monday night, I go out. I get fifth. I double my money. But this is, I'm not going to run. This was a Nick Chubb game. That wasn't bad. I take Amari Cooper, 2% MVP, guys. 2% MVP. That's the way I want to play single games. I want to get Amari Cooper at 2%. Dude's been running hot lately. I don't know why he was so low on Fanduel at 2%, but most people are running out the quarterbacks. Look, Jacoby Brissett, 20. Joe Burrow is probably in the 60%. 60% MVP. Everybody on FanDuel just takes the best quarterback in the game from that game and they put them at the MVP. It's automatic. I try to go contrarian every single week, try to go against that. I end up putting 3 lineups together. So you can see here, right? I put 3 lineups together. I take Amari Cooper at 2%, T. Higgins at 9%, with a Joe Burrow stack. This is like a Cincinnati would have kicked their ass, but that didn't happen. Actually, quite the contrary. And then a Joe Mixon, 12%. So I'm never playing a Joe Burrow because that's what everybody else is going to do. I got to try to get different. That's how I want to beat the league, right? And then it fails sometimes. So take us to last night's game. Shoot, it's Friday. Take us to last night's game, and Jalen Hurts at 65%. Every one of these guys on the leaderboard has Jalen Hurts, right? Every one of them has Jalen Hurts. I end up 7 points. I mean, all of these are the same lineups. These are super duplicated lineups here that you're seeing. You can see because of all the same scores, right? They're all duplicated. Mine was not duplicated, but it was the same score. That's interesting. So all of these lineups here, I had Dameon Pierce at 6% MVP. That's the way I want to play this. Everybody else, what was Jalen Hurts? 65% MVP. No, thank you. I'm still playing him, right? He's in every single lineup I put out there last night, but I don't want to play him. Honestly, I'm 1 play away from last night. Look at this. I play Fairbairn, which I do that quite a bit with kickers. Playing them with running backs. I play a lot of defenses with running backs. 8,500. If I go down to Chris Moore at 6,500, just leave that money on the shelf, which there's nothing wrong with doing in single games. I leave that money on the shelf. I get 7.5 points more. 7.5 points more here takes this bad boy down by myself. Tough luck, whatever. We move on to the Sunday main slate, and we've got our beloved Chiefs on the Sunday Night Football, so we'll go back to the single game there. But great week 8 for me. It was fun, but now it's time to move on. It's time to move on to week 9. And let me hear quarterbacks for week 9. Josh Allen's the only elite quarterback on the slate, right? Who are you going to look at for week 9 this week for quarterback? You're going back with Tua and that double stack action. Kyler Murray at home in the dome. Justin Fields has had some rushing yards. Who do you want? Let me know in the chat. Who's your favorite quarterback of week 9? I'll talk a little bit here about Josh Allen, obviously back on the main slate after a short stint off the main slate, $9,300 at the New York Jets. He's the only stud, right? No Lamar this week, no Patrick Mahomes, no Jalen Hurts. They're all off the main slate. And so similar to Jalen Hurts last week, if we can beat Josh Allen, if Josh Allen had I think like a 17-point game last week, guys. So he has these off games where the Bills win, the Bills play fine, but Josh Allen doesn't necessarily get there, right? Maybe Singletary scores a touchdown. This defense picks off Zach Wilson for a pick 6. Those things can happen, and Josh Allen doesn't necessarily get there, especially not at 9,300. And so who's the quarterbacks that we can potentially play to get past Josh Allen? He is going to be the top stud. He is going to be the top projected median projection, top ceiling projections, and he'll definitely be the top owned quarterback, probably one of the most popular cash quarterbacks of the week. Lamar and Duvernay stack. All right. No Rashad Bateman, unfortunately, out for the season. If you've been living under a rock, you might not have seen that, but Rashad Bateman out for the season. Also, Mark Andrews has been battling an injury, but Lamar and Duvernay are on Monday Night Football. Again, I'll play with Duvernay in MVP and not Lamar. Tannehill playing this week. I am unsure. No. We're talking main slate, folks, not Sunday Night Football. If you want to listen to my thoughts on Sunday Night Football, you can go check out the Titans Till podcast. James and I were live on my YouTube channel this week, and I let him know how I felt about the Titans' opportunities this week. Taylor Heineke, actually, I don't mind that play this week on the main slate. He's not necessarily going to have a huge ceiling, but he is going to save you a little bit of money. I mean, he's $2,000 less than Josh Allen. One guy I don't mind here is Tua. At $8K, he does, I think he only increased by like $300. Yeah, he only increased by $300 this week. He's not a top projected quarterback at Chicago, but this Chicago defense is not good. They're trading everybody away. To me, without this projection, and I'm starting to see some low ownership, I'm intrigued by Tua. Tua double stacks have gotten there quite often this year. Tua double stacks won it last week. Tua single stacks with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is just on a freak level of his own right now. If I get Tua projecting at sub 5%, it is pretty intriguing here. Last week, he was the highest owned quarterback in the contest I were playing. Now he's only 300 more, but now he's not projecting to be high owned. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be a slow game script, but I'm a little bit intrigued by Tua. And you better believe I want to go back to the guy who helped me win some money last week, Kyler Murray, $8,200 at home against the Seattle Seahawks. I want to go back to this Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore double stack for sure. Kyler Murray has looked way better now that DeAndre Hopkins has been back the last couple weeks. Two contrarian plays. I got two contrarian plays I want to throw out there. One being scrolling all the way down to a Trevor Lawrence against the Las Vegas Raiders. They are a dumpster fire of a football team this year, right? The Raiders, that is. The Jaguars haven't been great, but really this is a leverage play, not only off the quarterbacks, but also off of Travis Etienne, who's looking to be the highest owned player on the slate. So that's a quick leverage. Maybe Trevor Lawrence throws for 3 touchdowns. Etienne doesn't get there. Now, not only are you beating all the Etienne lineups, but you're also potentially beating out the Tuas, maybe the Kylers, and potentially even the Josh Allen one. So a low-owned quarterback leveraging the chalkiest running back on the slate and plus all the other quarterbacks. One more quarterback that I like, Justin Fields on the other side of that Miami game, right? A sub 3% owned against Miami. I mean, Miami's going to put up the points, so he's going to push Chicago to keep the foot on the gas. Fields has at least 60 rushing yards each of the past 3 weeks. It's an automatic 6 points, right? You get a point every 10 yards. Like, you have an automatic 6 points. He also had a rushing touchdown in each of the past 2 games. That's another 6 points apiece. This Bears offense really starting to click, and we're not scared of the Miami defense. We're not scared of this defense at all. I don't mind taking some shots on Justin Fields this week. Supposed to be very windy in Chicago. That's good to know. Did not see that, so that would definitely take me off of Tua a little bit, but not necessarily take me off of Justin Fields, because Justin Fields is going to run the ball anyways. That's who it is, right? Thanks, James. James is the host of the Titans Tilt podcast, so go there. I'm going Kyler, Deion Jackson, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, great play this week. You have to believe the Bengals are going to try to get back to this ground and pound. No Jamar Chase. You don't want to keep getting Burrow just beat up right now. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it a little bit more last week against the worst run defense in the league in Cleveland. Rest of your lineup here, Garrett Wilson, I like him. We're going to talk about Josh Palmer and Austin Eckler for sure. Any interest in Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown? Lots of injuries, no Hawkinson. I'm not necessarily interested in Jared Goff, right? Definitely always interested in Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am going to talk a little bit about a tight end here in this game that interests me, and it's not the chalk Robert Tonyan. It's actually the new tight end one in in Detroit. So I will talk a little bit about that there. I'm not interested in Jared Goff, though, himself. All right. Any other quarterbacks you guys want to talk about here? Again, Geno against Arizona. I'm not really big on that. He's kind of slowed down the last couple weeks. Justin Herbert just has no weapons, man. I would love to play Justin Herbert. He's down to 7,800. No weapons, though, in LA. No weapons in LA. All right, let's move on to running backs. Who is your favorite running back? Let me know in the chat. Who's your favorite running back for the main slate? Remember, only 10 games on the main slate this week. It is a short slate. Couple of guys that Ronnie Rivers, let's go. I'm not going to go there. Not against Tampa Bay, but I am intrigued with this Ronnie Rivers guy. The problem is, not for this week DFS, but for season-long fantasy, if you play season-long, be aware Kyron Williams sounds like when he gets back, he's going to be the guy that they might go to for a bell cow back. So don't spend too much fab on Ronnie Rivers, but he will be around. Deion Jackson for sure. 5K on Fanduel. It's going to be hard to fade him. Eckler catches a lot of balls. That he does, and he might be the only pass catcher. I saw today Parnham took a step back, right? I think I saw that. And then did DeAndre Carter end up on the injury list because of sickness? Man, LA can't catch a break right now, but if Austin Eckler is healthy, he might just get every single ball there against Atlanta. Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, and Joe Mixon. Those are going to be your chalk plays of the week. All four of them, they're projecting really, really well. I can pull up. Let's go to the models. Let's go to the ceiling. Pull it up here for y'all. Look at this. Here they are. Austin Eckler, 32. Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon. Josh Jacobs is up there. You guys going back to Josh Jacobs after that dud of a week last week? You know who never plays Josh Jacobs? This guy. I hate Josh Jacobs. I hate playing him. I don't care. I'll lose before I play Josh Jacobs. I will lose before I play him. I'm never going to go there. But same thing here, right? They're all projected to be the highest owned players of running backs of the week. And for good reason. They're all good prices and they've got high ceilings, right? Good prices, high ceilings. Of course, they're going to be some of the higher owned players of the week. I talked a little bit about Deion Jackson. We've talked about it in the chat a little bit as well. 5K, it's just about as cheap as you can get. I mean, you almost got to search the guy to find him on FanDuel. But when you can throw in a 5K running back, we talked a little bit about Sam Ehlinger last week, right? Like, could you play him because he was so cheap? He's only 6,300 this week, by the way. So if you want to go back there, good luck. But I'm not going there. But yeah, Deion Jackson here, $5,000. Back in week 5 and 6, JT was out. Deion Jackson, he had 58 and 67% of the snap share. So they definitely were using him quite a bit. Philip Lindsay back then had less than 40% of the snap shares. I know that he'll be involved a little bit again this week. But against Denver, Deion Jackson only puts up 11 fantasy points. Denver's a really, really good defense. New England, who he faces this week, a really, really good defense. But if you can get 11 points out of Deion Jackson and double his salary, 2x the salary, like you're feeling really good. And maybe he falls in the end zone and now you're 3xing a 5K running back. It makes it really hard to fade. Like, we try to play contrarian, but at least right now for my 112 person contest, it's so small that it would be really hard to fade somebody like this. If you're playing big, large GPP tournaments, you're probably going to try to stay away from this guy. But in a smaller field, single entry, 3 max, Deion Jackson, I think, should be a part of your player pool. And I don't think he's not going to have a huge ceiling. He's not going to, go off. But again, 5K, he could definitely be in the optimal lineup. One guy that I kind of like here, we talked Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, ETN. All these guys are in that, high priced, high owned. But one guy who's not high owned is going to be Dalvin Cook at 8,500. We know he's got the slate breaking ability. And if he's only going to be, let's see what he's looking at here. Let's go by salary. I mean, look at this. Dalvin Cook, 5.5. His ceiling's way lower projected wise. But 5.5%, that's what they established to run is projecting him right now. I don't mind playing a little Dalvin Cook. I don't mind doing that. Another guy I want to go right back to after going to him last week, Deontay Foreman. It was announced about a couple hours ago before I got on here, right? Chuba was going to be out again. His price does increase from 6,300 to 7,300. So that kind of makes me want to shy away a little bit more, but he's going to have all the snaps. He is all they have if you're not going to have a Chuba Hubbard there. So don't mind that at all. Oh, I was going to pull this up. This is the Deion Jackson that we're getting this week, guys. Let's show this video. Found it on Twitter today. I was like, yes, let's go, Deion Jackson. Let me pull it up big screen. Y'all can just watch it without my face. Let's go. Check this out though. The speed to finish. But before that, check this out. Look at the vision. Cut back, boom. Breaks a tackle. Who doesn't want to play that guy? Who doesn't want to play that guy? Come on now. Let's go. Mostert, Chicago defense is bottom 4. Chicago's defense is bottom 4. I really don't mind the Raheem Mostert play. Miami just throws the ball a lot, man. I mean, they just throw the ball. They just throw the ball. So that kind of hurts me. That to me keeps me down a little bit. Raheem should be a lock for 20-point game. I'm also a little biased because I played a little Raheem Mostert last week. He didn't do a damn thing for me. Aaron Jones is going to be a stud this week. Absolutely. One of the best plays on the slate. It's going to be hard not to get him in there against that Detroit Lions defense. Also a bottom 4 run defense. It's going to be hard not to go there. And then Chicago Herbert. Honestly, for me, I don't necessarily want to play these guys on the main slate. Montgomery and Herbert both kind of splitting snaps. Could Herbert be the guy that falls in the end zone twice? Absolutely. But they share too much to me to trust him on the main slate. If this was a single game, maybe I'm playing both of them with a Justin Fields, whatever, just think they're going to run the ball the whole time. But again, I don't think I can play Herbert on the main slate this week. James Robinson, I'm not going there, not this week. The Jets are going on a bye week next week, and so I will probably be in on James Robinson coming out of the bye, but not this week, just being traded, and they're going into a bye week. I think the Bills just handle the Jets and move on. All right, let's talk running wide receivers. Let's go wide receivers here. Who's your favorite wide receiver on the main slate? Man, I inhaled my beer. That wasn't good. Y'all having a beverage tonight? If you don't want to tell me what wide receiver you have, tell me what beverage you're having tonight. I got to go Silver Bullet all the time. Got to go with the Silver Bullet all the time. Let's go. It's Friday night, guys. Let's have some fun. We're talking DFS. We're talking about losing our money on Sunday, right? So we might as well have some fun tonight before we lose our money on Sunday. Nah, we're here to win. We're here to win. We are here to win. So if they handle the Jets, Diggs going to eat. Ah, man, Sauce Gardner over there trying to put that sauce on there, right? No, it's kind of, I do think that the Bills handle this game quite easily. And the Bills are a team that they don't slow down. Like the Eagles, when the Eagles get up, they just slow down, bring all the tempo down. The Bills, you've seen them go off and score. They beat the Titans 41-10. They've won a game 38-3 this year. Like they go off and they don't really slow down. So you definitely could play a little bit of Diggs. I don't mind a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, or a Josh Allen, Gabe Davis skinny stack. I don't want to double stack Josh Allen this week though. If I'm playing Josh Allen, if I'm playing him this week, I think I just want to do a skinny stack mainly because I would be worried. Maybe they do play Devin Singletary a little bit more often this week. I love DHop. I'm definitely going to talk about him here in a moment. Sorry about the Titans. Had to bring it up one more time. The red one. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, man. Dr. Pepper? Dr. Pepper? Maybe that's the red one. All right, let me talk about Tyreek. He is the freak, right? $1,000 more than what he was last week, up to $8,700. He is the fourth highest on the main slate this week. I'll pull it up here for y'all. Juju's not on the main slate. He is probably in MVP consideration for Sunday Night Football. All right. Here we go. Tyreek right here, which is where he should be, right? Cooper Kupp, 9,000. Justin Jefferson, 9,000. Diggs at 8,900. Tyreek right here at 8,700. He's projected to be the highest median total. He's projected to be the highest ceiling. He's going to be one of the highest owned wide receivers, but how do you fade Tyreek right now? The Bears defense is terrible. He feels like the safest wide receiver. Looking at just what we can see right here, right? We can see Cooper Kupp to Devontae Adams. We can see Cooper Kupp to Devontae Adams. To me, Tyreek is the safest play out of all these guys. Would you guys agree or disagree? Who's a safer play out of the guys that we can see right here? To me, it's Tyreek Hill's the safest play at the top for wide receivers. I saw somebody say DHop here. Again, I keep forgetting about this weather and this wind. How I don't mind Tyreek though in the wind. Because right now they're not really using Tyreek for a bomb. They're just trying to get him the ball and let him do this thing, right? But obviously, if the weather does look bad, I will probably try to avoid this game like the plague. Depending on what the wind is. The wind's got to get over like 20 miles an hour for me to hate it. It's got to get over like 20 miles an hour for me to hate it. DeAndre Hopkins, 8,600 right here below Tyreek. Look, the guy's come back from a 6-game suspension, 22 catches, 27 targets, 260 yards, like whatever, right? It's like the guy never left. Just quickly reminding us how good he is. He is so elite. And now he's at home against the Seattle defense. That's not good on the road. I talked about it in my season-long podcast, Another Damn Fantasy podcast. We talked a little bit about this game and what I brought up and the stats I brought up there. I'll bring up again here. Everybody's going to tell you Seattle's defense, they've been really good the last 3 weeks. That's what they're going to tell you. And they're not completely wrong, but what they're not going to tell you is that this Seattle defense is a lot different when they're on the road than when they're at home. And they've been at home 2 of the last 3 weeks. Their passing yard splits from home to road, they give up 259.5 yards passing on the road. They only give up 213 at home. That's a pretty significant difference in the NFL. But even more significant, they give up 33 points on the road, and they only give up 16 points at home. So yes, they've been better the last 3 weeks. 2 of those games have been at home. Now they got to go to Arizona in the dome on the road. I like this Arizona offense. They're clicking once DeAndre Hopkins has been back. So give me some DeAndre Hopkins this week. And then I got to get a little bit contrarian. And I got to go back to Davante Adams a little bit. Why not? He put up a goose egg last week. Maybe not a goose egg. What did he put up? It should have been a goose. Excuse me. He put up 0.7 points last week. Not a goose egg. Not a goose egg. Man, but look at this ceiling. He's got the 25 points in his bag. We all know it. They got to get back after against this bad Jaguars football team here. The targets. Last week, we all heard Davante Adams had the flu, something like that going on all week long. I played him, we talked about it a little bit earlier in our DraftKings lineup because I wasn't worried. I thought maybe nobody played him because he was sick. Well, more people played him and he didn't do very well. So let's go back to him. Everybody's mostly, recency bias has a feel within these lineup builds. And so people might avoid Davante Adams. And so I'm going to go right back to him. ETN is chalk this week. I like a little bit of like a Travis Etienne, Davante Adams mini stack from this game. Kind of balances out the ownership. I like that a lot. Supposed to be over 30 miles. All right. If it's over 30 miles an hour, I'm out. I am not playing that Miami-Chicago game. Gabe Davis, 6,600. He hasn't really had the volume that we want. I mean, he's getting like 3 to 5 targets a game. 3 to 5. Let's take a look at this. 3 to 5 targets a game. He had 7 last week, so you like that. 6'6", 3'6", It's just not happening. No more than 4 catches in a game. It's been bad for Gabe Davis this year. He has had a couple ceiling games. But at 6,600, if you want to get a piece of this Bills offense, thinking that whatever, they're going to keep the pedal down, so you want to lease a little bit of it. I don't mind Gabe Davis as a little bit of contrarian play off of the Steph Diggs play. Gabe Davis, Garrett Wilson mini stack is something I like out of this game if I want to attack the Bills Jets. And then Chargers wide receivers. I talked about earlier with Herbert. I don't really want to play Herbert a lot because he has no weapons, but I don't mind playing some of these wide receivers. Josh Palmer at 6,200. DeAndre Carter is at 5,500. Again, I think it was DeAndre Carter showed up as sick this week. Josh Palmer is still not 100% going to go. He's still questionable. But if these two guys play, look, Keenan Allen's going to be out again. Mike Williams is on the IR. Somebody's got to catch passes from Justin Herbert that's not named Austin Eckler. Donald Parham has taken a step back in his recovery. Coming off a bye week against a Falcons defense that gave up 34 points. 34 to the Carolina Panthers. Chargers will put up some points, so I don't mind playing a couple Chargers wide receivers. Oh, the dreaded tight ends, folks. The dreaded tight ends. Is there any tight ends you want to play? Can we just stop playing tight ends? Can we? No Travis Kelce. No Mark Andrews. No George Kittle. Darren Waller's probably not going to play again this week. No one. Zach Ertz, guys. Zach Ertz is the highest priced tight end on the main slate. And he's at what? 6,800? 6,600. 6,600 Zach Ertz. That's the most expensive tight end. I don't want to put any money towards tight end this week. I might play Ertz in a Murray double stack, but I'd rather play Rondale Moore than Zach Ertz, right? Kyle Pitts has starting to look sharp the last couple weeks. I don't mind playing him. Maybe that just talked about DeAndre Carter, Josh Palmer. Maybe play one of those guys with a Kyle Pitts. Maybe play a Austin Eckler, Kyle Pitts mini stack. I could get down with that. Staying up here at the top, I'll just show you. Staying up here at the top, right? TJ Hawkinson, he just gets traded to Minnesota. I assume the volume will be low, but no one's going to play TJ Hawkinson this week. You want to get a week ahead? Now's their chance. Now's your chance. Play TJ Hawkinson. Get a week ahead. I assume he'll probably use a little bit in the red zone, but it can't be full volume. I don't want anything to do right here. I don't want to play Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is – look at this. Look at this game log. It's not all about game log. I talk a lot about snap shares and target shares, but look at this. I don't want to play Tyler Higbee. Not against Tampa Bay. I don't ever want to play Tyler Higbee right now, right? I don't like Foster Moreau, who's the Darren Waller's backup. Hayden Hurst, he's up here a little bit, right? Hayden Hurst here at 5,300. I liked him a lot last week, only 4 for like 42 or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to go back to somebody like Hayden Hurst when I expect Joe Mixon to get a lot of the run this week. Robert Tonyan at 5,000. He's down here. He's your chalk play of the week. This is the cash tight end. If you're playing cash, this is who everybody's going to play. And can he catch 2 touchdowns? Yeah. Might only be the only 2 catches of the game for him, though, right? Might end up only with 14 points, which is not necessarily the ceiling you want out of a tight end. It's nice with a 5K price tag, but I just don't like the ceiling he's got. So if I don't like the ceiling he's got and I don't like the ownership he's coming into, I'm going to go down even further to, I said it earlier, Detroit Lions backup tight end. Brock Wright, 4,400 on Fanduel. Now, he is in concussion protocol. But if he does play, look at this game against Dallas. I'll take 4 for 57. All you're looking is for a 2x right here, right? You're paying 4,400 for tight end. You're just looking for a 2x. If Brock Wright doesn't play, we can go cheaper, folks, and we can find the smash tight end of the week. His name is James Mitchell. James Mitchell, tight end. He's got 1 catch on the season, baby. 1 catch. 100% catch rate, though. 1 target, 1 catch. But in all seriousness, he should be the starting tight end. If Brock Wright's out this week, he should be the starting tight end. $4,000. Why not? You might not have to do this, but if you want to save the money, go for it. Go for James Mitchell. I have a lot of interest in this guy this week. Go for it. Dawson Knox, about the best option. Anytime you can pair a guy with Josh Allen, I mean, why not? He scored in the last 2 games that he's played. I like Evan Ingram, especially in a Trevor Lawrence, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram double stack. Bring back Devontae Adams. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. Likely is on Monday Night Football. So he's not on the main slate, but absolutely. Likely helped me win a little bit of money the week that was it last week? The week that he came in for Mark Andrews was going to play, and then Mark Andrews left a game. I had Likely in there. So I am a fan of Isaiah Likely, but he is on Monday Night Football. Defense, real quick, let's touch on it, and then let's build some lineups. Miami, Chicago, Carolina, those are your 3 chalk defenses. So don't play those guys. That's all I got to say. Miami's pushing 25%. And if the wind, right? So in the chat here, Lee talks about the wind. It's supposed to be windy in Chicago. If this holds true come Sunday, and it's going to be super windy in Chicago, I could see Miami start to push 30, 35%. Tournaments, cash, anything you can get them. They're super cheap option, and people still don't believe in the Chicago defense or offense. To me, I love Buffalo. They're at the max 5K. That's going to push their ownership down. They're not going to come with 0 ownership. They'll still be owned a little bit, but it's going to be pretty low, especially in small field tournaments. Small field players play a lot like cash, right? So they'll just play the cheapest play they can find, the cheapest and best most projected play they can find, the points per dollar play. And so Bills won't necessarily be that because they're so expensive, but I really like them this week. Zach Wilson makes a lot of mistakes, but 5K is going to be hard to squeeze out. It's going to be hard to squeeze out. Also, there's only 2 games in the afternoon, right? Which is weird. This 10-game slate, it's awesome. But there's only Seattle, Arizona, and then Tampa Bay, Los Angeles Rams in the afternoon. So that's going to make it hard. That's where I usually go. We talk about it every week. Let's throw in a 4 p.m. defense. There's not a lot of 4 p.m. defenses this week, so it'll be hard to utilize them as a pivot point this week. It'll be hard to utilize them as a pivot point. Any other defense you want to talk about? Or let's get to stacks. Who are you stacking up? Give me a game stack. Give me a quarterback and somebody. Who are you stacking up this weekend? Who are you building your lineups around? Who are you building your lineups around? You know this is mine. Right here, going back to the well. And I'm not bringing anybody back on this one. No Seattle bring back. I think Arizona can get there. I don't believe in the Seattle defense. Kyler Murray has been great the past 2 weeks with DeAndre Hopkins. Great. He put up 17 Fanduel points, but he's looked way better. He started rushing the ball a little bit less last 2 weeks. But he did have a little bit of a stretch here. He's going to make his mistakes. But look at this. 100 rushing yards against Seattle last time he played him. If he just would hold on to the dang ball, how many fumbles does this guy have? This is my favorite stack of the week, though. Double stack Kyler Murray. Another stack I really like is Austin Eckler. I mentioned it earlier with Kyle Pitts. Tight end is so weird. I just want to play somebody that has a little bit of a ceiling. That could be a Kyle Pitts here. Right? I don't mind going Austin Eckler, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has started to come on a little bit. I like the way they're using him. Even in this game, right? Even here, 5 targets. He hasn't put it all together all at once yet. Last week was probably his best game of the season. But this guy's got 125 yards and 2 touchdowns in him. And I want to be there. I can't quit Kyle Pitts, guys. I can't quit him. And then my last stack that I want to bring up here tonight, I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. Somebody said in the chat they like Trevor Lawrence this week, and as do I. And you could play the chalk with it. You could play like Travis Etienne. He's catching passes, right? He's catching some passes. Not a lot, but he's catching them. I don't hate it. He's catching some passes. And no James Robinson. Last week he went off without James Robinson. And then sneak in your tight end right here. Not Gerald Everett. Goodness. Evan Ingram. And then what I want to do, I told you guys earlier, nobody wants to play Devontae Adams this week. I'm going to bring him back in a Trevor Lawrence stack. Check that out. What do you think about that? What do you think about this? Let's start here. Let's build this lineup. Let's start right here, this Trevor Lawrence stack. Bring it back to Devontae Adams. Right? One thing I want to do is I still want to get a little bit of the Seattle-Arizona game when possible. This Tampa Bay, this is where I need to get better. I already have it in my mind that this Tampa Bay-Los Angeles game is going to be so flippin' gross that I don't want to play any of it. But I probably should. Right? Why wouldn't I play these guys? It's late swap equity. That's what I need. But anyways, I'm going to go Seattle, Arizona, because that's what I like. And if I do this, I want to go DK. He's my favorite Arizona player. I still have 5,400. Let's go Deion Jackson. What happens, right? Oh, yeah, come on now. Jackson. Oh, I clicked this. Oh, Deion Jackson. Can we get to the Bills? We got 5,000. I have 6,300 still. When you play this Trevor Lawrence stack, you have a lot of money left. Plenty of money left over. Let's see who's in the 6,300 range. Kyle Pitts. I'm not going to play 2 tight ends. I'm not going to. I could add on Christian Kirk. Can I add Kirk and play Jones? Can I add Kirk and play Jones? That's the question. I don't know. I can't do that. Nope. I don't want Mooney now. I've been spooked by the wind. Man, where do we go from here? What if we oh God, we're on down. What if we come off the Bills? And let's go 3 running back build because I do love Aaron Jones this week. Leaves us $3,500 for a defense. Yada yada yada. Atlanta at home against a beat up. Ah, man, they just gave up 34 points to the Panthers. Hell no. I don't mind Carolina, who just gave up 34 points to the Falcons. Who I think I don't know. One of these two, probably go Carolina or Atlanta. But I don't hate this at all. A three running back build. I think Aaron Jones is going to smash this week, guys. I think Aaron Jones is going to smash this week. So that's kind of how I'd build a Trevor Lawrence stack. If you don't like playing ETN with Lawrence, you could throw in a Christian Kirk or Zay Jones, or just do a skinny stack with Evan Ingram as well. I don't mind playing my running backs with my quarterbacks. Essentially, I'm saying this game is going to be the one that goes off. In fact, you could even do it more. I can't get to Josh Jacobs, but I was going to say, if you could get to Josh Jacobs, I could probably come off Hopkins or somebody here. Right. And just say this game goes off. So I could go down to Rondale in that game. And that leaves me a ton. That gets me up to the Bills. Easy. Right? Maybe it's just this Las Vegas Jacksonville game goes off. These defenses can't hang. Just go all in. Right? Lawrence, ETN, Evan Ingram. You're bringing back Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. You're going all in on one game. In a single injury small field tournament, if that game goes off for 60 points and the next game goes off for 45, like you've done you've hit it. And all you did was guessed on one game. Not bad. Not bad. If you like Pitts so much, I'll give them to you, Kittle, straight up in our league. The problem here is I don't know what Debo's health situation is. And Kittle has really started to come on recently. I like Pitts in DFS on a 10-game slate. When I'm looking at all these tight ends, like, of course I want a little bit of Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has the highest ceiling out of every tight end on this slate. Every tight end. All right, let's build another stack. Let's build a lineup here. All right, this is what I want to hear. In the chat, I want you give me a 1 for Josh Allen or a 2 for Kyler Murray. Which one do you want to see? Josh Allen or Kyler Murray? 1 for Allen, 2 for Murray. I'm going to build a lineup around them. Let's have fun. Let's build a lineup around one of these guys. 1 for Allen, 2 for Murray. Let me know in the chat, who do you want me to build a lineup around? We got some extra time. Who's still here with us? One for Josh Allen, 2 for Kyler Murray. Let us know. Let us know in the chat so we can build a lineup here. While we're waiting, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you will. You all, by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, you help me get seen elsewhere, right? You help me get seen elsewhere. You help me grow. You help the channel. That's what I like a lot. 1 or a 2 in the chat. Lil guy. Thanks. Appreciate that. All right. I assume that's the 2. So I got 2 2s and 1 1. So we're going Kyler Murray. Let's build one around Kyler Murray in there. 7 likes on the video. Thank you guys for that. If you haven't liked it already, hit that like button. All right. Kyler Murray. I'm gonna go with my stack. If we're going Kyler Murray, I'm going all the way in, right? Hopkins going Rondell Moore. Do we bring it back with a Seahawk? Yes or no? I'm gonna put a secondary stack in here. But while I'm doing that, tell me, do we bring this back with a Seahawk? Do you want to see a Seattle Seahawk in this build? I am gonna put in Aaron Jones and the Packers defense. Nobody's really talking about this Packers defense. Whatever. It's not very good. And Detroit at home is actually pretty good. Detroit at home is not too bad. Not too bad. But I kind of like that little second. You know what? Honestly, maybe we'll do it this way. You know who I like? I said earlier I wasn't going to play this game. What if we do a 4-net? Let's do an afternoon game. 4-net Buccaneers. You guys like that? 4-net Buccaneers? I don't mind it. All right, I got a no, and I got a yes, and I got a Walker. All right, let's go Walker. We're going to bring it back with Kenneth Walker. Kenneth, oh my God, Kenneth Walker is so expensive on Fanduel now. What happened? All right, so now we got wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver. Honestly, I might just put Deion Jackson in every single build right now, guys. Put Fournette in the flex. Put Jackson in here. He's just so cheap. It opens up so much. He's so hard not to play. 6,100 is what it leaves us. We could add in Zach Ertz with this stack. I don't hate that. I don't want to triple stack Kyler. I'd have to take out Rondell Moore if I did that. Who else in here? You know what we could do is maybe instead of going Deion Jackson, let's go with our boy James Mitchell. And Aaron Jones. A little mini stack there in the Green Bay Denver game. Detroit game. And then find one cheap wide receiver at 5,400. There's plenty of cheap wide receivers, right? 5,400. Terrace Marshall, 9 targets last week, guys. 9 targets. We're going to throw him in there. Throw Khalif Raymond in there. He's gotten some action. 4, 6, 7. Just kind of overstack that Detroit Green Bay game, which I don't hate. So that's what I would do here. Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins, Rondell Moore, bring it back with Kenneth Walker. Do a little Aaron Jones, James Mitchell, mini. Have a little extra on the back end here. We could even do an A.J. Dillon. Dillon's kind of thin, honestly. But we could just do James Mitchell one-off. Just say, hey, we're punting at tight end. It's 4K, whatever. And find somewhere else to go. We have a lot of afternoon here. Whew. This might not be the actual one to play a Fournette because you have so much afternoon play here. I don't hate Fournette this week, but that's just a ton. You got to know a little. If Kyler and Hopkins are going to be popular, Kenneth Walker will be popular, you got to have a little bit of idea what you're going to get yourself into. So we have to play somebody early, right? So that would be that Deion Jackson play, maybe a Ramondre Stevenson play. Dante Foreman, could you do like a Foreman and Higgins? Higgins is always nice without Jamar Chase. And then you're going to go super cheap at defense. If it's going to be windy in Chicago, maybe, right? And what do we see here? Again, you could add Zach Ertz. Not going to do that. Eno is actually really nice. I don't mind Eno. I don't mind Eno. Pittman's okay. Pittman's okay. So you get the gist. You got options here with this Kyler stack, but I would play a couple more 1 p.m. games because I think Kyler to Hopkins is not going to be super chalky, but I do think it's going to be chalky enough that it's going to be chalky enough that you're not necessarily going to not want to play, any 1 p.m. games. So, all right, let's clear it. Let's build another one. Who you guys want to? You want to build another one? Or you want me to shut it down? If you're still here in the chat, if you still want to be active in the chat, I'll build another lineup because I'm enjoying it. I'll build lineups all night. Let's do it. Burrow is bad. Yeah, he is bad without Chase. And really, this Cincinnati team in general has been bad this year, right? Super Bowl hangover. Maybe they were just not as good as they looked last year. Maybe if Spags would stop leaving Chase one-on-one, the Chiefs would have been in the Super Bowl, but we won't talk about that now. All right, the other guy I still want to put. Do we want to go? Man, I'm super spooked about this field stuff now. Sam Ellinger is still 6,300. Let's build a Allen Diggs skinny stack. Allen's Diggs skinny stack. You want a little Josh Palmer action? We can put Josh Palmer in here. We can put Josh Palmer in here. What about a Josh Palmer? I don't really want to go Drake London. So let's go Pitts. Let's go Pitts. We like Pitts. Josh Palmer, Atlanta, or Kyle Pitts mini stack here. Do we want to bring back? Okay, if you're gonna bring somebody back in the Buffalo, it's got to be Garrett Wilson. Do you want Garrett Wilson to come back? Do we bring Garrett Wilson back? Yes or no? Let me know. I'm putting in Deion Jackson back in this one because we didn't put him in the last one. Garrett Wilson, yes or no? God, you know who I want to play this week is Ramondre because I want to play him every week. I want to play Ramondre every week. 8K. 8K. I'll see if I can't fit him in somewhere. I'm not going to play him in this one, though. Right here, we're going Deion. Right here, we're going Deion. Heineke, McLaurin stack. I can build one of those two. Let me know right now, though. Do you want Garrett Wilson in this? Does Buffalo just destroy him? Steph Diggs goes up for 3 touchdowns, similar to a Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown-esque type game last week? Is that what we're looking at here? Or can Garrett Wilson get there against this Bills defense? This is probably the one we can play Fournette in. This could be the one we play Fournette and Tampa in. Right? I like that. This one fits that well. Fournette, Tampa. I'd put Fournette in the flex for sure. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be in the flex. We could go Rondale. Let's go Rondale here in the flex. We'll go Eno in the flex. Let's go Rondale. Can we get to DK? No. 74? Hell no. Let's see. Who makes sense in this build? $6,600 wide receiver. Who makes sense in this build? Okay, we're not going. We got to know. I don't like it. So we're not going We're not going Garrett Wilson. So who would make sense then? What is Garrett Wilson? If Garrett Wilson's like 6,600, we might 58. We might put him in there anyways, but let's find somebody else. Gabe Davis, just double stack Josh Allen. Damn, that fits way too nice, doesn't it? How's it Gabe Davis? How's it Gabe Davis? All right, I like that. Okay, one more. I'm going to build one more lineup. I'm just going to do it. It's in the chat here. Taylor Heineke, Terry McLaurin, and then we're going to get out of here. Heineke, McLaurin. I like Dalvin Cook. I talked about it earlier. I think his ownership's going to get squeezed compared to everybody else. So all these other high price guys. So let's go Dalvin Cook here. Again, I'll bring it back from Taylor and McLaurin. And then let's play Stevenson. I really want to play Stevenson. And I kind of want to play this defense too because they're super expensive and nobody wants to play them because they're 4,900. So, and if they're at 4,900, why not play the Bills, right? Like that's what everybody's going to think. So let's play this defense too. That gives us 6,000 left remaining. I don't even know who plays tight end for Washington anymore, but I kind of think we go Hawkinson here. Right? Why not? Let's get a week ahead. If we're going to play this game, if Taylor Heineke and Terry McLaurin are the nuts, if that's the team, that's the stack we need, Minnesota's going to have to push them. Minnesota's going to have to push them. So let's push. Let's go Hawkinson. Let's go Dalvin. We could even throw a Curtis Samuel in here. Gibson wouldn't be bad. He's been catching passes lately, hasn't he? Look at this. 7 targets last week. 2 receiving touchdowns in a row. Let's throw him on. Let's just say Washington, Minnesota. That's the game we need, guys. That's the game we're going after. So now we need a little bit of a cheap ass mini stack. And I found one already, actually. This is a nice one. We can go Alec, DeAndre Carter, Drake London. DeAndre Carter, Drake London. Boom, mini stack. Feels good. Actually, what sucks and doesn't feel good is I have no afternoon. And I hate that. Chris Godwin's going to be highly owned because he's so cheap on FanDuel. He's way too cheap on FanDuel. Van Jefferson put up a 0 spot last week. Nobody's going to go back to him. He could be in play if we're looking at that Tampa Bay game. Also, we could just go 2 one-offs, right? We could do a one-off Van Jefferson and a one-off Rondale. I don't mind that. It gives us a little bit of flexibility in the afternoon, right? If it goes really, really bad, we could go down to like a Robbie Anderson. Maybe we could get a little bit. We go up to Chris Godwin. Let's see if we can do that. So say this goes bad. We haven't done this yet tonight, so let's do it real fast before we get out of here. Say this goes bad. Taylor Heineke, Minnesota, Washington, whatever. They don't hit the nuts. Somebody else hits them. So now we're going to have to get off of Van Jefferson and Rondale. Not that Van Jefferson and Rondale are going to be very chalky by any means. Well, actually, let's flip that, actually. Let's flip that. Because Rondale and Van Jefferson aren't going to be chalky. So let's get chalky, right? Minnesota and Washington was the nuts. That's what we needed, right? So let's go to a chalk Chris Godwin. We don't need to go crazy. Let's get somebody that's going to, be chalky. And then we could go like a Robbie Anderson. That fits really nice too. Anderson obviously won't be chalky, but Chris Godwin will be. So I don't mind that. All right, everybody. I have gone for 75 minutes. So I have probably gone long enough tonight. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you for joining the chat. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, Check out my season-long podcast, Another Damn Fantasy Podcast, powered by Stadium Rant. You can find us on Apple or Spotify. Dan and I, my co-hosts, we break it down for you each and every week. We are back this week, so go check that out. You can find a link in the description. Follow me on Facebook at The Rumbles of Red. Follow me on Twitter at Trevor S_FF. Good luck in week 9, and may the money be in your favor.